Welcome to the American Business Video Series program. Everyone in the company is a salesperson, all the time. Selling skills are useful to everyone in your company and not just the salespeople. Everyone has a primary responsibility in every company, large or small. But every day, every person has the opportunity to sell the company and its products or services. Good sales skills are useful both outside and inside any company. Just ask yourself, what if everyone in the company were a salesperson? Would that result in more business? We think so. And we think that after viewing this program, you'll agree that classic selling skills can be useful to everyone in your company, especially those who deal directly with customers, even if they are not directly involved in selling. Let's start by looking at the classic selling skills. There are 5 steps every salesperson goes through with a customer, and they are establishing rapport, uncovering needs, making a recommendation, closing, and follow-on activities. Let's observe salesman Dave Cox as he uses each of these steps.
Good morning, Mr. Peterson. I'm Dave Cox. Thank you for taking time to see me.
It's nice to meet you, Dave. Please, call me Bob.
We've not met before, but I remember you from a panel you sat on at the Chamber of Commerce luncheon last month. I enjoyed hearing your views on the business conditions of the state.
You were there. That was a real brouhaha.
The reason I asked to see you was that I've learned that your company is expanding this location and relocating one of your other divisions here. Are these both true?
Yes, they are, although we're just beginning the logistical planning for moving the division.
I understand. If I may, I'd like to explore with you what your current needs might be for office products and equipment and what you think you might need once the move occurs. If we can look at combining them, you might be able to get some significant price benefits. Can you share with me what your needs might be? Bob, let me go over these once more to ensure I've got it right. This covers what you think you'll need over the next 60 to 90 days.
They should be within that range, although there may be some variance in items and quantity.
Oh, I understand. Now, this list is an estimate. Okay, a guesstimate of what you'll need to accommodate the new division when it does relocate, perhaps as soon as 6 months from now.
Dave, that could vary considerably. We don't know what they'll move with them.
Oh, of course. But they will need these items, whether they bring them with or purchase them here?
Yes, that's correct.
Bob, let me propose this. Establish an open PO for these items at the pricing I've listed here. I'll come back with a sliding price schedule for any items that you might purchase over the next 12 months. Not only will you find that very attractive for any purchases you might make for the new people, but the price breaks will be back credited for all purchases made from the date of the PO. So, what do you think? May I have the PO?
Yes, you can. Dave, this is a good deal for us.
Okay, this is what we need to do next. I'll get a number of catalogs over here. If your secretary can supply me with a list of those you want to have.
You observe, Dave, engage in the 5 principal steps of a sale. Establish rapport, uncover needs and wants, make a recommendation, close, and establish follow-on activities. Now let's examine Dave's interaction with Bob. The first step in the selling process is to establish rapport. And this means getting your prospect, your opposite, comfortable with you and talking openly. People are more willing to agree with someone they like and are comfortable with. We all feel that way, whether we're a salesperson, customer, or fellow employee.
The reason I asked to see you was that I've learned that your company is expanding this location and relocating one of your other divisions here.
Once Dave established rapport with Bob, he moves to the next element of the sale, uncovering needs and wants. Dave is looking for some need he can fulfill with office supplies or equipment. Likewise, a customer also has some need when they call a service representative. Good customer service depends upon identifying that need. Everyone in your company has some need. At the very least, they have a need to perform well in their jobs. Any proposal or request stands a much better chance of being accepted if it
Okay,
addresses a
guesstimate
need of theirs.
of what you think you will need to accommodate the new expansion.
Making a recommendation is
Of
perhaps
course.
the
But they will
easiest
need
part
these
of a
items
sale
whether
to
they bring them
understand.
with
It takes
or purchase
place
them here.
when the salesperson
Bob,
recommends
let me
a
propose
product
this.
or service.
Establish
When
an
any
open PO
employee
for
makes a
these items at the
recommendation to
pricing
a
I've listed
manager
here.
or a colleague,
I'll come back
his
with
or
a
her
sliding price
desire for
schedule
agreement
any
is
items that
no
might
less
purchase
than that
over
of a
the next 12
salesperson
months.
looking for an order.
Not only will
Both
that be
are
very
doing
attractive
exactly
for
the
any
same
purchases
thing
you make for the
and have
new people,
identical intent.
but these price breaks will be back credited for all purchases from the date of the PO.
Dave is now closing the sale,
But these
getting an
price
agreement
breaks
in his
will be
favor.
back credited
In this
for
case,
all
it's for an
purchases from
open
the date of
PO.
the PO.
Bob sees
So,
the value
what
in
do you
Dave's
think?
proposal,
May I have the
and he
PO?
agrees to it.
Yes, you can.
When you and a fellow
Dave,
worker
that's a
come
good
to an
deal.
agreement on some matter, you've also
Okay,
closed.
this is what
It's
we need
no
to do
different than
next.
Dave closing
I'll
on the
get a
sale
number
of office
catalogs
products.
over here. If your secretary can supply me with a list of those you want to.
The last step in a sale is to clarify any follow-on activities that might be needed. With Dave, it was to see about sending catalogs to people who order office supplies. Similarly, when you and another person agree, you create an action plan, set the next steps, or decide who'll do what. Skill in these techniques is useful to everyone in your company who has contact with customers. Every time you speak with a customer, you have the opportunity to get business for the company. Training and selling skills will help to take advantage of those opportunities. These same skills are also valuable to everyone else in the company. Some people may not have contact with direct customers, but they nonetheless do have customers, other people within the client company. For them, a successful sale is getting an agreement in their favor. The process is really much the same. Let's look first at Jane Baker. She's a customer service representative as she takes a call from Michael Lowry, who wants to change an order.
Good morning, General Electronics Customer Service. This is Jane Baker. How may I help you?
Hello, Jane. I'm calling about an order placed earlier this week.
Yes, sir. Let me get your records up. And your company is?
Romer Enterprises.
Romer Enterprises. And your name is?
Mike Lowry.
And how are you today, Mr. Lowry?
Fine, thank you. And how are you, Jane?
Oh, very good. Here we go. I have an order placed on Tuesday. Is that the one?
Yes, that's it.
Okay, what can I do for you?
First of all, I'd like to know if it's been shipped. I need to change some things. There should be 6 items on the order.
In this brief interchange, Jane has engaged in the first 2 skills of selling. She has developed a rapport with the caller and found out what his needs are. It's true, Lowry volunteered his needs, but the process remains the same. Establish rapport, uncover needs. Jane could not proceed until she knew what he wanted.
Mr. Lowry, I'm sorry, but I won't be able to pull the items you don't want. It shows the order has been packed and has probably left the warehouse by now. However, you can return them for full credit. As for the new items, I'll bill them as an add-on to the PO and expedite their delivery. You should receive them on Monday. Will that be satisfactory?
What would it take to get them tomorrow?
Well, they would have to go by messenger service, and we'd have to charge you for them. Or we can have them for you at will call.
That's okay. Monday will be fine.
Okay, I'll get that out to the warehouse even as we speak.
So far, so good. Jane is providing Lowry with excellent customer service. She has also progressed through all 5 steps of a sale. After establishing rapport, she uncovered needs, made a recommendation, and got his agreement on how to proceed. That is, she closed him. And finally, she sends his order off to be fulfilled. Now, Jane goes beyond excellence to the extraordinary.
Mr. Lowry, I noticed that Romer purchases lot quantities of 8-pin chassis mount cannon connectors. Do you place those orders?
No, Laura Roberts orders those items. Why do you ask?
Well, you're real close to a break point. 2 more lots gives you another 10% off, and because it comes in this quarter, you'd get that additional savings credited to the 3 lots you ordered last month. Mr. Lowry, are you interested in that savings?
Yes, you bet we are.
Okay, could you transfer me to Laura?
I can't transfer an outgoing call, but I can conference her. Hang on while I get her on the line.
Okay.
Jane is as much of a salesperson as Dave Cox. While taking care of Mike Lowry's request, she saw an opportunity to make a sale and provide Lowry with a price break on an item he purchases frequently. a win for both of their companies. Jane has the knowledge, skills, and confidence. All employees can do as well. I've suggested a definition of selling as getting an agreement in your favor. It's a way of making selling skills useful to everyone in the company. It's easy to see the value of these skills for those having customer contact. Perhaps this interchange between John and Larry will show their value to those who only deal with fellow employees.
Larry, it looks as if we're the ones to manage the new analyzer that moves from research into production. Have you done that kind of thing before?
Not here, but I was part of a couple of such teams at Diagnostics Products when I was there.
Oh, they build good stuff. What was their process?
Quite different than it seems to be here.
How so?
To begin with, a committee made up of engineering, production, and marketing decided what was to be brought to market. Then we began to make production prototypes. Here, marketing seems to pretty well call the tune on new products. Once we were given the charge of the design.
John is beginning to establish a relationship with Larry, developing rapport with him. Larry is becoming comfortable with John, and John is beginning to learn how Larry feels about the kind of work they'll be doing.
What do you see as your role?
Well, that's part of my problem. The easy part is ensuring specs are maintained and figuring out how to build the thing.
And the hard part?
Seeing that it all goes well, I'm the new kid on the block. And well, this is a high visibility job.
No guts, no air medals.
Yeah, but at least in a dogfight, I can see who's shooting at me.
Touché.
John has uncovered a real concern. Larry is worried about not performing well and is unsure of his ground. At least one need is to perform well in this assignment. John can now establish a contract with Larry that will be a win for both of them.
Okay, Larry. I think I understand where you're coming from and believe I can suggest something that will help meet both our needs. First, let me tell you what I want. I've got to manufacture what you design. In the past, it's not been that easy to explain that some things that look good in a design prototype just can't be made to work on a production line. So here's my deal. I'll ensure that you know what's going on at all times and who you can trust. Just so there's no misunderstanding, I'll see that you know what is happening and what's taking place, and that you don't get blindsided. In turn, I want you to do what's necessary to end up with a design that we can build efficiently. Okay?
Agreed. Whatever happens along the road, if this product comes out well, you win and I win. How do we proceed?
There's a series of steps. Right now, we need to look at each one individually.
John, after discovering what Larry wanted, went on to make a recommendation. He got Larry's agreement, he closed him, and then went on to plan what they needed to do next. John will be able now to do the job he wants, and his customer Larry will get what he wants out of the project. John conducted a successful sale. In the past few minutes, you've seen 3 salespeople, Dave, Jane, and John, successfully complete a sale. Dave got a PO for office supplies and equipment, Jane an order for electronic connectors, and John an agreement to proceed in the manner he wants to. Only one of them, Dave Cox, is paid to be a salesman. Jane and John, however, use selling skills to their advantage and to the advantage of their companies. So, what if everyone in your company were a salesperson? It just might be a more successful company, a company with more opportunities for your personal growth, and a place where things move along smoothly. Who knows? Your sales skills might just make the difference for your company and for you.